ActionSA is set to unveil its mayoral candidate for Ekurhuleni this morning. The announcement takes place in Thembisa, with party leader Herman Mashaba headlining the event. Other senior leaders, including Michael Beaumont and Funzi Ngobeni, are also expected to speak. The party says the candidate represents a bold step towards fixing Ekurhuleni and delivering real change. Newzroom Afrika's Katleho is there for us and brings us more. Katleho, very good morning to you. What can we expect from this morning's event?
Thank you, Katleho. Today's announcement comes as residents of Ekurhuleni continue to battle with a number of service delivery issues. We're talking about water losses, power outages, billing failures, and we know that the region has been rocked by corruption scandals, most notably the SIU's investigation and subsequent report into the Thembisa hospital. And so ActionSA here today announcing their mayoral candidate heading towards the local government elections, and certainly looking at the fierce the political competition that's about to ensue in this region owing to some of those service delivery issues as well as the corruption issues in the region. But to give us more on the plans of the party in this region, I do have with me ActionSA leader, Mr. Herman Mashaba. Mr. Mashaba, if you can just take us through, before the announcement of your mayoral candidate, what are your plans for this region?
Well, I think the Gauteng, as you're aware, it's an economic hub of our country. If these three metros, Ekurhuleni, Johannesburg and Tshwane, if these three metros are not going to work, the country is not going to work. And it is for that reason we're pleased with what's happening in Tshwane. You remember last year this time I was under attack when I took a decision to remove Celia Brink and recommended that we put Dr. Nasipi Moyo with the ANC and EFF. And at the time, really taking a gamble because the city was literally broke. But obviously the city being a country is not like business you can liquidate. It was something that we needed to correct. And I'm really so immensely proud of the work that Dr. Nasipi and our coalition partners are doing in the city of Tshwane. Now, obviously going forward, the Ekurhuleni and Johannesburg are in a terrible situation. And in an hour or so's time, we will be announcing the mayoral candidate for this seat, for the municipality, and someone who carries a lot of patriotism in his DNA, someone who fights corruption, someone who despises drug syndicates, someone who's committed to this country, someone who's got age on his side, and I think we need to really focus our energies on poor communities. That's the reason I'm in politics. I'm not in politics to serve political parties, including ActionSA. I'm in politics to serve my country. ActionSA it's a vehicle we use to get you from one point to the other. I cannot honestly, personally, sleep when I know that there's over 50% of our people not really knowing where the next meal is going to come from. In a country as rich as South Africa, where we've experienced really the industrial scale looting, that has to really stop. It is for that reason, as a party, we ensure that we bring in, put together a team of dedicated, corrupt-free South Africans. And I'm excited with the candidate for Ekurhuleni. And I know you're going to be asking me about Johannesburg. Give us time. We're still going through our internal processes. But it's not only Johannesburg. We've got to look at it, Tikweni. We've got to look at Rustenburg, Polokwane, and so forth.
So, Mr. Mashaba, talking about corruption, we know that this region has been rocked by the SIU's investigation into Thembisa Hospital and laying the groundwork for this region being quite politically competitive. I mean, what kind of promises are you going to be making as an organization in this region? As we know, many organizations have been making over the years, but looking at this recent report, certainly those promises not being fulfilled.
Well, I think, to bear in mind, I think we don't want to really make promises on things that are outside our jurisdiction. Hospitals, unfortunately, it's a competency of the province and national government. Our mayor, when he takes over, would not really be in a position to directly fix the hospitals, but will make noise on behalf of his residents if he's obviously elected as a mayor. Make as much noise as possible to hold the province accountable, to hold the national government accountable. But hospital, like schools, those are competencies of national and province. However, look at this young man who was killed, 2 months ago in Ekurhuleni, who was working in the audit department, who unearthed the cases of corruption. Those are the issues that, yes, as a mayor, will be able to really deal with. If you look at just go around Thembisa and the surrounding areas, particularly in the black communities. And I think this is something I take serious exception for anyone saying that our people don't deserve services because they don't pay taxes. I must take rates of paying residents and not provide a service to people of Thembisa. Just to really give you an example, I'm sure you know why Thembisa was established. Thembisa was established not because black people wanted to really be in Thembisa. Thembisa was established like Soweto, Alexander, to really be areas that must provide cheap labor to industry. People of Thembisa have played a key role in the development of this country. At the time, refused to participate in the economy. They were denied education by Verwoerd and the National Party. Now, for anyone to tell me people of Thembisa today are not paying taxes, they're not paying rates, I think it's an insult for me. And those are the things that we want our mayors to address. And I'm glad Dr. Nasipi Moya in Tshwane is not negotiable. Not that we ignore other communities. We are going to serve everyone. But no, don't tell us that we cannot really serve the townships. The townships are going to be a priority for our government when we take over Ekurhuleni after the upcoming local government elections.
And a last one, Mr. Mashaba, we know many of the metros, the structures are of a coalition nature. Maybe it's too early, but perhaps your sense of the local government elections and that you might have to partner with other organizations in running certain metros. How are you looking in terms of your sentiments around coalition structures, especially here?
Well, I think if I look at our metros and the general political environment in South Africa. South Africa has entered a very interesting part of our history, of our democratic process where coalition is a must. I don't really believe, even for us as ActionSA, we'd like to win outright, but what are the chances, honestly, to say ActionSA is going to win outright? I'd be unfair to myself and society. We as ActionSA, we are ready and happy to work with any party. There's three things, and I've been saying this throughout the week, ventilating this, that if you want to work with ActionSA, we don't want to get into a relationship which we know in advance will collapse. That's why we're putting three conditions for now that are non-negotiable. If obviously other parties want to work with us, invite us to work with them, or we invite them to work with us, they must understand that provision of public services to all communities is not negotiable. We don't want parties that must tell us, I must go and cut grass in Sandton when Alexander, people don't have toilets. So that for us is not negotiable. Secondly, we want political parties that are going to commit in fighting corruption. That let's commit upfront in writing to society that cases of corruption, if ever uncovered, no one must cover for anyone, because ActionSA will never cover corruption for anyone, and we don't want anyone to cover for us. Thirdly and lastly, which is also very important, we want political parties that must work with us to commit that illegal foreigners, criminals who are here in our country, where we don't know how they came into this country, really be overburdening our limited resources. We have to really embark on a mass deportation of illegal foreigners. So if any of these three I've mentioned, and you're a political party that you support illegal criminal elements, then please don't waste time with us, because we will go in coalition with you, and 6 months later or 3 months later, that coalition will collapse, because we're going to insist that we cannot provide services to illegal foreigners. We cannot allow illegal foreigners to run businesses in our communities. We will insist businesses in municipalities where we govern, we will make sure that those businesses that operate hiring illegal foreigners will close them down when our own people are unemployed.
And Mr. Mashaba, a last one. The candidate that will be announced here today, can you give us a description of this person? Is it, like you were mentioning, Nasipi Moyo in Tshwane, a young person? Can you just give us a description?
It's another Nasipi Moyo. That's one thing I can tell you. If you look at the characteristics or a character of Nasipi Moyo, when I took a gamble last year, when you remember last year this time I became a villain. I was the political parties spend money and the media accusing me of the removal of Celia Brink, and I'm so proud because I knew what I was doing. That Celia Brink was a wrong person for our city. And I took a chance of putting a young woman, black woman, and what she's doing makes me so proud. And this individual I'm presenting to people of Ekurhuleni, it's in that league. They're in the A league. And we will continue as ActionSA to unleash excellence in our communities. We don't want to be judged as black people, ANC as a standard. ANC is not my standard. You know, I grew up and I was born and grew up in an environment where we were told, you know what that means, that a black man's medicine is a white man. And, you know, I was lucky my grandfather instilled in me to reject this with contempt. He says, my boy, you are your own medicine. But, you know, from time to time, we'll be with people and my grandfather will be there. Hear some people complaining about another black person. Says, no, blacks can't be trusted. My grandfather will take me aside and actually it illustrates to me the nonsense this person is talking. That, please, my boy, never allow such people to influence your thinking. Herman Mashaba's medicine is Herman Mashaba. And that's exactly what ActionSA is all about. That all of us South Africans, black and white, we are going to be our own medicine to fix our country.
We'll leave it there for now. Thank you, Mr. Mashaba.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, Katleho, you've heard there from the leader of ActionSA, Mr. Mashaba, saying that the candidate that will be announced today is, you know, somebody just like Nasipi Moyo there in Tshwane, and someone with the same characteristics and traits. And that announcement will be made in a short while.